Okay, so today we're doing my monthly wrap-up. We're going to talk about the books that I read in the month of September, and it's going to be a quick video because I didn't read a lot. I didn't read a high volume of books in September because I was reading this beast. So let's talk about what I read. But before we get into the books that I read this month, a shout out to today's sponsor, Squarespace. From websites to online stores to marketing tools to analytics, Squarespace is an all-in-one platform that helps you to build your website and grow your business. But we'll talk more about them at the end of the video. Future Merphy here, popping in at the beginning of the video. You'll see me at the end as well because I forgot to put this at the beginning of the video, my TBR for, I guess, this month. Yeah, we're already into this month. I do 3 buddy reads a month. I have 2 over on my Patreon, and then I have 1 in a public Discord if you can't or don't want to join the Patreon. So the 2 Patreon buddy reads this month are 11/22/63 by Stephen King. This is alternate history thriller, I think. And then Shadow of the Wind, which is a fantasy. Why is there already a sticky in there? Oh, because I was figuring out the chapters for the buddy read. So these are the buddy reads over on the Patreon, linked in the description. And then my other server, which is also linked in the description, we are going to be buddy reading This Is How You Lose a Time War. Yep, I said that right. This is a sci-fi, adult sci-fi, very short. But I also know that the prose is supposed to be very, very flowery, so I reckon it'll probably take me a while to get through it because I'm not used to flowery prose. Those are the buddy reads. Go join some servers if you want to. Okay, so the first book that I finished this month was The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal. Okay, this was my first Mary Robinette book, and I accidentally read 2 of her books this month, and I am definitely a fan of her work now. This is an alternate history story set in 1952 where a massive meteorite hits the Earth, hits Washington, D.C., hits the Earth, takes out Washington, D.C., takes out the state that the main couple that we're following lives in, but they were away at the time that it happened. And this book did such a phenomenal job of dealing with the pain and consequences of that, as well as the grief that it left behind for our main characters, while still having a spark of hope and expectation for the good things that are to come. It handled the really, really, really hard emotions as well as the excitement for moving forward. Our main character is one of the first female pilots, and after this catastrophe, there's a lot of forward motion trying to move society forward and trying to recover, and she's a big part of it, as well as her husband. They're both a big part of it. And there's a lot of discussion around sexism in this book. I thought it was handled so well. I enjoyed the discussion in this book so much. I loved our main character, and I loved the relationship at the center of it. It was such a great depiction of an already established married couple having really great give and take, having really great dynamics, listening to each other, walking through life together. I just don't see that very often in fiction. Usually it's either an unhealthy relationship to add drama, or if it's a budding new romance to make us all swoon. And this is the kind of relationship that I enjoy seeing in books, an established, healthy, married couple I enjoyed reading about so much. Even though the relationship wasn't at the forefront of the story, I really, really appreciated that dynamic of it. I did end up rating it 4 stars, 4.5 stars for all intents and purposes, but on Goodreads, it was 4 stars. I think that this book was brilliant. I think that it was fantastic. I speculated after I finished it that because it's alternate history, which is kind of like historical fiction, and historical fiction is a genre that I don't really connect with that much, this book took me a while, like a much longer to get through than a book this size normally would, just because I never felt really compelled to pick it back up, even though every time I was reading it, I enjoyed it so much. And I chalk that up to this just isn't really my genre, so even though I loved the story, I loved so many elements about it, I had a little bit of a harder time connecting with it. Then I talked to Daniel about it, and I told him, I think it's just because it's alternate history, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I think I think it's because you don't like hopeful stories as much as I do. He pointed out that I tend to really be drawn to darker themes and to more gritty stories that are a little bit less hopeful. And I think he's right. I think he hit the nail on the head. I loved this book. I thought it was so well done. I loved so much about it. But it had such a hopeful tone despite all the heavy emotions that were happening. And I think he's right. I think that was a factor in my enjoyment, and it makes me question myself a lot. But anyway, the point is, this book was phenomenal. I highly recommend it. I gave it 4.5 stars because there was a level of me not fully connecting with it, but it was a phenomenal book. It's wonderful. Next book I finished was the original, which I do have a spoiler-free review already up on my channel. I'll link it in the corner and down in the description. This is my second Mary Robinette Kowal book, and I didn't even know that Mary Robinette was on both of these books. It was a coincidence. This is the book that Brandon Sanderson co-authored with Mary Robinette, and I really enjoyed it. It's a novella. It's a sci-fi novella, and it's about this society where after someone dies, they have the opportunity where they can have their consciousness and their memories and their personality downloaded into another copy of themselves, but sometimes copies are made early and the government is corrupt and incidents ensue. We're specifically following a copy that was made to hunt down her original because her original maybe went off the wires. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. I loved the entire concept of it. I thought the world building in this was phenomenal. There were some very slow parts. I felt that there were pacing issues to it. But despite that, I thought that this was an excellent novella and I enjoyed myself a lot. The review is spoiler free, so if you want more thoughts on it, hop over there. Next book I finished was Ultraviolet. This book is hard to describe because it's one of those books that starts out very slow and slowly peels back all the layers. And because of that, it's hard to talk about it because all of the biggest beats don't happen until like the second half of the story. So I'll keep it really vague. This is about a girl. Her story starts when she's in a psych ward and she's there because her friend disappeared and she says that she killed her by disintegrating her. This sounds like nonsense. They're concerned for her mental health. They send her away. Turns out that she has, I don't know how to describe it for you because everything is a slow reveal. It's a book, in my opinion, the mystery at the center of it and the slow peeling back of layers, the slow unraveling was so interesting. But when we got to the full unraveling, when we got to the reveal and we got to, okay, this is what we've been leading up to, I just think it was done really sloppily. I think that the buildup was a lot more interesting than the reveal. I think that there were a lot of elements that I could tell the author tried to tie it all together, but it wasn't done in a really cohesive way. And I think that it was a really cool concept, but I didn't love the execution of it. And that's really all I can say spoiler-free. Shucks. Next thing that I finished was a comic, and it's the first volume of Descender. I loved this. So this was in my 5-star predictions video. I'll link it if you care. I was hesitant to put this on the 5-star predictions because it looked like something really interesting, but it's the first volume, and usually first volumes are about setup and aren't 5 stars. I loved this so much because not only was the artwork gorgeous, it's this watercolor, but also so detailed and interesting to look at. I loved the artwork in this. It's a sci-fi world. It follows this robot, this little boy companion robot. So there's these creatures, these things that came to their world and destroyed it and killed a lot of people. And our little protagonist wakes up after all this has happened, he's been in some sort of hypersleep, and he wakes up to a lot. This comic went darker than I expected it to go, for sure. We also follow other perspectives, people trying to figure out what happened to cause all this, and we get flashbacks to get more context for things. I enjoyed reading this so much. I was more pulled into this than I've ever been pulled into the first volume of any comic or graphic novel, which I'm still relatively new to this medium, so I guess that's not saying a lot, but I enjoyed this so much. I was showing panels of it to Corey, and he, who is exclusively an audiobook person, he was considering reading this because it looks so cool. I am going to be ordering the next few volumes. I'm definitely continuing on with this. I enjoyed this so much. I guess I should also mention there's a lot of emotional impact on this. There's some really dark panels, but also just there's so much emotion and so much that connects me to this world and to these characters in just such a small little package. I'm just surprised at how much I was drawn into and enjoyed and connected to this in such a short period of time. It usually takes me a few volumes, and I loved this so much. Future Merphy here to tell you about more books. Oathbringer, done. Fantastic read. Wonderful time reading it. So freaking long. There will be a review out for it, I think on Friday. So tomorrow for you. Corey did it too. It's there. It will be there. And the last book that I finished this month after Oathbringer was By Sea and Sky. This is a self-pub book. It's a nautical fantasy, pirate ships. I love nautical fantasy. I don't know why. Red Seas Under Red Skies, I guess, is a pretty good indicator. I really enjoy nautical books in general. I love ship books. I don't know why, but it's something I really enjoy. And this one was really good as well. It's very fast-paced, extremely fast-paced. It's a lot of action, and it's a lot of moments, a lot of quick moments. I probably prefer my pacing a little bit slower than this book was, but it was a non-stop ride. I read it way faster than I thought that I would because it's just a page turner. It is not super character focused. I like my books to be a little bit more character focused than this. I don't really feel like I got to know any of these characters on a very deep level, so I would have loved more character development. I would have loved for things to just slow down every now and then to help me to have time to get to know the characters that I'm spending time with. So that's probably my biggest gripe about this book. And I don't know that there's a strong driving plot so much as it is just kind of like a feud between two people groups that drives the story forward. So I would say if you want a really fast-paced, fun, exciting nautical fantasy, then you should definitely pick this up. It was well written. It was a really enjoyable book. I am still currently reading My Cousin Rachel, so this will be in next month's wrap-up and this week's reading vlog, so it's not in this one, but just so you know, I'm still reading it. And now, an ad. Hey, what you doing, hun?
Jumping over mushrooms.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you take a break and build that website you've said you wanted to build for months now? And if you use Squarespace, you can get real-time website and campaign analytics from the source. You can learn what content is working better for higher engagement and track the metrics from send to sale. Finish your website yet?
No.
With Squarespace's blogging tool, you can share your stories, photos, videos, and updates. You can categorize, share, and schedule your posts to make your content work for you, so you can finally write that blog post for the books you're trying to review. So head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the link in my description to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Stop putting off building that website and use Squarespace. These are the books that I read this month. Be sure to chat with me more about them in the comments. I post videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.